Good day. Today I'm gonna I can hear them, so I'm sure you can. Ducks. Today I'm going to go through my knapsack. This isn't just to show you what I carry in it. The fact is that I have realised now that I'm a lot older than when I first made a video on my knapsack contents, and I'm simply having trouble carrying what I've got when I'm climbing, when I'm going uphill. I live in a very mountainous forest with valleys, and there's usually a bit of climbing to do if I want to get anywhere that's, you know, further away from home, and look for a place that I like to be in, you know, like to camp in. And as I say, it's just getting too much of a burden on me now to carry all that weight. So we'll cover the knapsack first, and then we'll cover the shot pouch as well, because they're both heavy. There's nothing I can do about the gun. Okay, my fusel I think weighs about 9 kilos. It's quite heavy in the hand, quite heavy. It's got a heavy barrel on it. So there's not much I can do about that. So I've got to cut back somewhere else. Now, I'll admit that most of the stuff I'm carrying here was for comfort. Okay, it makes life a little easier when you're out there on your own. And it also means that you don't have to use as many skills. Now, I've got the skills, but to use the skills, that's hard work. Okay, say for instance I decided I wasn't going to carry a flint and steel. I'll always carry a flint and steel, but just say for the purpose of this video I decided not to carry one. Well, that means that I have to make a fire bow, and I would probably, once I've made it and gone to the trouble of making it, I want to carry it with me. That takes time, it takes effort. When a flint and steel is just in a tinderbox, it's just so easy. So that's just a for instance. So there's stuff in here that I've got to get rid of. Now the problem is when you're doing this is when you take it out as individual pieces, individual items, you look at it and you feel it in your hand and you say, well, that doesn't weigh much. And it's pretty useful to have. I'd rather not take it out, but it's pretty light. So we'll just put that aside and I'll put it back in afterwards. But you can say that about all the items in your pack. Okay, there might not be a heavy item in your pack. It's when they're all together. Okay, same as in the shot pouch. You've got buckshot, you've got bird shot, and you've got round ball. Okay, now they're all lead. Okay, and they weigh a lot. Sooner or later you've just got to realise, like I have, that I just simply can't carry the weight, so I have to find a way around it. Okay, I have to use a bit of skill to counteract the fact that I've taken something out of my pack. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to start emptying my pack piece at a time, and we'll see what I'm going to take out and leave out, on what I'm going to put back in. Okay? Okay. Okay, first item. My oilcloth shelter. Now this goes underneath the flap of my knapsack, and that's where it's secured. It isn't very heavy. It's not very large, and really that is one thing that I want to keep, because it's just so much easier than trying to build a brush shelter each time. I've got the skill to do it, but this is going to be just so much better, and I cannot afford to get soaking wet in winter, simply because there's not enough brush around to make a decent camp. So that is a keeper. Okay, I'll put that over here. Alright, what else have we got in the pack? Medical kit. I can't do without a medical kit. I mean, I could do. What are the chances of getting hurt? But I'm not a young fella anymore. And in winter, it's all very well saying, you know, you can get herbs, but in winter you can't, because they're not growing anymore. They're not up yet. So I've got dried herbs in here, and I've got some other stuff which is more modern. It's contained in this leather bag, so it sort of fits the period, and I must say that I very much doubt if the average 18th century woodsman carried a medical kit in the first place. But I'm carrying one because accidents can happen, and I think it's wise that you do carry one, and it is worth the wait. Okay, so we'll put that up there. That's gonna stay as well. Okay, next. You can see what I mean. You can see where I'm going here. This is my replica of an 18th century cooking kettle. It's fairly light. When I first purchased it, it was up here somewhere, and that was incorrect. That was not what the original ones for that period were like. So I cut it down and I changed it. Wasn't an easy job, but I made a good job of it. Again, it doesn't weigh much, but if I want to make stews and things like that, and if I want to boil water, especially water that I'm getting out of one of the ponds or something like that, I really do need that. So again, that's something that's just going to have to be kept. I hope I don't end up doing this all the way through the pack, because something has got to go. And I guess, yeah, something's got to go. We'll put that there. We'll put that aside as well. So that's going back in. All right. What else can I feel in here? Okay, my housewife sewing kit. Very light. Very handy. I could probably do without that. But then again, it is so light that it would be really pointless if I'm going to leave something out, it needs to be something that's a lot heavier than that. Okay, so I'll take it with me. I can use these the needle and the thread in here for suturing wounds if I need to. I have a couple of different sizes of linen thread. The smaller size is good for suturing wounds, and I've got some small needles, and it has beeswax and stuff in here as well, which is good for repairing holes in the shelter and things like that. So yeah, that's gonna have to stay. Okay. Let's pop that in the kettle. All right. What else we got? Comb and soap. Handy. Keeping your hair combed, I could probably do without it, but it's only a piece of comb, ivory comb, and weighs next to nothing. Soap. I think, yes, very important. You know, you've got to wash, keep yourself clean. Bit of weight in the soap. I could make the soap smaller. Maybe that's an option. Maybe that's an option. Okay. Alright, well, let's put that, we'll put it here, but I'll leave it out of the bag, and I'll remember that that's an option. I could make the bar of soap smaller if I want to. Okay? Alright. Next. Now I've come across a bag here and I've absolutely no idea what's in it. I probably haven't opened it up for ages. It actually looks like a black powder bag. A gunpowder bag. Oh, it's got tinder in it. Okay. It's got tinder. Again, very light. I don't really think there's any need for that, to be honest. I think that's just taking up room. Let's just take a piece out. Oh, I see, yep. Okay. Alright, what can we do with that? I think there's any, I think carrying an extra piece like that is good, because sometimes the tinder that I find is soaking wet, and if it's on the ground it might have been there for a while and it gets fairly hard and it's unusable until you've got it dried right out. So, okay, what I need is somewhere to put the rest of this. Okay, I'll tip it out over here on the sack. Now of course there's not much weight there. I think most of that is actually dust. I think it's the dust of the polypore. There's a beetle that eats the polypore, and you can actually use the dust. You don't have to char it at all. you can use the dust to, I'll just show you some of it. This is what the beetle produces. And you can strike a spark onto that and start a fire. So, you know, it's handy to have, it's handy to know. You don't have to char it. But in this particular instance, we're going to cut out that. It is light, but at the same time I'm saving room, so we'll keep that. Alright, what else we got? Okay, I think this is food. Not much we could do about the food. Yep, that's flour. I like to carry flour with me because well, I like making my own bread. Cook it on a hot stone. So you've seen one of my other videos. I actually show making it on a hot rock at the back of the fire. So I'll put that there for now. There's not much we can do about the food. Okay, flint pouch. So far I'm keeping everything there, but we might make we've got rid of some of the tinder, which will give me more room, but not much less weight. And the soap I might cut down in size. It depends on what we end up with. What I've got here is a stack of flints. Now really, I don't need that many flints. I really don't. Long term, yes. There's some wads. I'll put the wads back in there because the leather wads are handy. These are just spares. So let's have a look at these flints. There's some good flints in there. Some of these look like they might fit the pistol. But I'm using smaller flint in the on the fusel now as well, so you know, it's picking good ones. Alright, I think let's just keep to those four. The rest of these can go. Put them over here. Right, they're gone. At last, something that has a little bit of weight to it, not much, but it will help. And we don't need it. If I were to run out of flint, I can probably find a rock that'll work, and I can nap it to shape. So that saved a bit of weight. That can go back in, the rest of the flint stay out. Okay, we're getting towards the bottom. So what have we got here? Guessing this is probably tools. Okay, let's empty out. Let's see what we've got. Okay. Tools and spare parts. Okay, there's a spare hammer. Okay, and this the other one's to stop sparking, but truth be told, if it did, I know how to reharden the hammer in the campfire anyway, so that's out. Cutting wads. this is actually pretty handy for cutting wads. This is an 18th century, it belonged to my father. It's an 18th century wad cutter, and I can make wads out of bark or anything like that. However, again, bit of weight in it. We don't actually need it because I can use wadding instead of wads if I want to. So that's out. What we got in this one? Springs. Okay, spare springs. Alright. Now, the fact is, even for spring breaks and the lock no longer works, I can convert my Flint lock into a match lock. So I can still use it. So really, those aren't necessary, especially for short-term journeys. And at my age, I probably won't be going too far these days, so we'll take that out. They can stay at home in case I need them. What we've got in here, right, spring clamp, main spring clamp. If I'm not taking the mainspring, spare mainspring, I don't need the clamp. So that's out. Okay. What else we got? Okay. Swan shot mould or buckshot. Fair bit of weight in that. I think I'll just take what I've got with me in the way of swan shot, and we'll leave that out. I'm so tempted to keep it because, you know, I can make shot in camp, but something's got to go. Okay, sharpening stone, my knife. Very handy, but I can get a smaller one than this, so that's out. These are my filter bags. They weigh next to nothing. I use it for filtering water before I put it into the kettle for boiling. Very light, very handy. I'll keep them. What else we got down here? Oh wow. Sadly we're getting right down the bottom here now. I haven't got rid of an awful lot of stuff, have I? Okay, what's this? Oh, okay. It's a spare steel. Okay. And Flint's in the other side. A close friend of mine made this, and I must admit part of the reason I'm carrying it is because it was his. He was a very close friend. He died some years ago now. But I'll leave it out because I've got a steel and I'm not likely to lose it. Okay. What else? Now this weighs something. Lead. Okay. Spare round ball. Okay, fair bit of weight in that. Okay, fair bit of weight. So I think we'll leave that out. I'll see how much when I get to my when I get to the shop pouch. I'll see how many I've got in there, and I might take some out of here and put in there. But the majority of these, no, they're out. They're out. Okay, what's we got left? I can't have too much left in here. Okay, right down the bottom. Right down the bottom. Not sure what that piece of leather's for. Isn't it funny how you put things in over the years and you knew what it was for at the time, but then you've forgotten. It doesn't weigh anything, but I'll leave it out. These are some old soles out of my moccasins. You know, as one pair wear out, I make a new pair, obviously. I carry a spare pair with me, just in case my others get torn up or something like that. But the idea that I carry these, the reason I carry these, is because if I wear my moccasins out and I've got a hole in the bottom of them, rather than put on the other moccasins or sit down and start repairing them, I just slip these in, and that will protect my feet, and it's a quick and easy fix. And then when I make camp, then I can take these out if I want and repair the moccasin. And maybe that's what that was for, now I come to think of it. So okay, we'll throw that back in. Alright, what else we got? Nothing in the main body. Let's see what we got here. Wooden spoon. Actually, I'll leave that out, not because I don't want it, but because my youngest son has made me a new spoon, and it's a great spoon, I might add. He's made, and I meant to put it in my pack, and I forgot all about it. So I'll take that out, and hopefully remember to put his in. The spoon is really all I need for eating. I've got knives. Okay. Okay, things for repair. Things for repair. A snare. We'll take it here. Copper wire. Again, good for repairing a broken stock. A candle. Okay. Sinew. Okay, that's for repairing moccasins and what have you. And that's a file. Okay. Where did I put that sharpening stone? Did I put it in here? I've got to remember to get a smaller one. Oh, it's there. Okay. All right. Small file, good if I need it for the tomahawk, but frankly I think I can do without it. There's plenty of rocks out there I can use for grinding off a damaged edge. I'll leave that out. Getting pretty hardcore now. Okay. My diary. I find a diary is really handy for writing down things that happen on the trip, on my journey. Also things that I need to remember. If something's broken and needs fixing, or something I think that I should have taken with me, then I can put it down in here, and it's a good record. If I find new edible plants, again I put them down, because these days my memory's not that great. Doesn't weigh a lot. It's very handy to have, and I carry a pencil in there for writing down, so we'll keep those. Anything else? An awl. Okay, an awl and thread. Okay, I need to keep that, because that's I use that for repairing moccasins. You know, things get thrown in the pack sometimes and you forget all about them. What we got here? Okay. Another leather punch. I really don't need that, and the awl. So that can go out. 2 lots of beeswax. Yep, I'll keep that. It comes in very handy. It doesn't weigh much. Snare wire. It's a lot easier to make a snare out of brass wire for small game than have to sit down and make cordage to do it with. So I'll put that back in, because it doesn't weigh much. Okay. That's it. It's I don't think there's anything else I can get rid of in there. Spare moccasins, I think it's a good idea to keep them. Inside my blanket roll I carry extra clothing. Now the reason I carry the extra clothing is I do most of my journeying in winter. And you've got a choice. You can either carry 2 blankets, which is bulky and it is heavy, and I have not read about any woodsman carrying more than 1 blanket. So many years ago I set about trying to figure out how they managed to do it, and I found many records of people that doubled up on their clothing, wearing a jacket and a coat, sometimes 2 coats, sometimes 2 pairs of breeches, things like that. So I worked out what I needed, and I carry a spare waistcoat in the roll, a woolen shirt, and a Monmouth cap. Okay, so at night I put on the Monmouth cap, and I put on the shirt over the top of the one I've got, and I put the waistcoat over the top of the other waistcoat that I'm on. So I've got 2 waistcoats and 2 shirts on at night, okay, to help keep me warm. And that I found is the easiest way. I'm not always comfy. Sometimes in the early hours of the morning, if the fire's died down, I'm feeling pretty cold. I stoke up the fire and I go back to sleep. That's the way it is. Like I say, you've got a choice. You can either carry all that weight and carry things that in fact they never carried, or you can find out how they managed to survive out there without all that stuff, and that is one of my answers to it. That's carrying the extra clothing. It doesn't weigh as much as an extra blanket, but it certainly keeps me warmer. Okay, so that's about the end. I've got a whole heap of stuff I've taken out here. I hope that makes a big difference to the pack, because I'm going on a trip soon to, at least I hope to be able to go to Dragon's Toll, and that's quite a climb. So we'll see how we go. I'll probably do a video on that when I go, so you'll see whether I make it or not. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope that was useful. It's certainly been useful to me. I've been wanting to do this for a while now. And like I say, I always had that problem of saying to myself, well, you know, it doesn't weigh that much really, and it would be handy. But I've got to that stage now where I've got to be firm with myself and cut that stuff out. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time for the next video.